When I got towards the doorway, it was everywhere. That's really the scariest part to me, is that somebody didn't help sooner.
Late on a Friday night, Charlotte was bathed in a soft yellow glow, and the distant hum of a train echoed through quiet neighborhoods. Security cameras on the link's blue line captured a seemingly ordinary scene. Passengers sitting scattered about, staring blankly, each lost in his or her own world. In one corner of the frame, a young woman in a black t-shirt and hat, holding a phone, walked in, chose a seat near the window, and sat down. No one paid her any attention. Her name is Iryna Zarutska, a 23-year-old Ukrainian. 2 years ago, she and her mother and two younger siblings left Kiev, fleeing war, hoping to find peace in a strange place called America. In Charlotte, she started over, learning English, working at a pizza parlor, saving every penny to help her mother pay for her younger siblings' education. Those who have met Iryna say she is gentle, quiet, always trying and always smiling, even on the most trying days. That day, Iryna had just finished her late-night shift. She boarded the familiar train to return home, a normal, simple, uneventful journey. But at that moment, while the train was still silent, something unexpected was silently approaching. Who could have imagined that just a few minutes later, that girl would never set foot home again? On the evening of August 22, 2025, on the Lynx Blue Line train in Charlotte, North Carolina, everything was going as usual until something irreversible happened. Iryna Zarutska just finished her shift at a local pizzeria. She boarded the usual train for the ride home, a late but quiet ride. Surveillance cameras captured her in a black t-shirt and cap, holding her phone, finding a seat by the window. She wore headphones, spoke to no one, just like any other day. In the same train car, a man named DeCarlos Brown Jr., 34, a resident of Charlotte, was already there. According to the investigation, Brown and Iryna did not know each other and had no previous interactions. He was sitting in the row right behind her. Just minutes after the train pulled out of the station, the camera captured the moment Brown stood up and moved quickly toward Iryna. No warning, no forewarning. The entire act lasted less than 10 seconds. Some passengers began to realize something was wrong, but it all happened so quickly. In the footage, Brown is seen leaving Iryna's vicinity after the incident, walking down the aisle of the train and then exiting the train at the next station. Before stepping out, according to video and witnesses, Brown said a short sentence, "I got that white girl." The statement became a key detail in the federal investigation. The incident was determined to have taken about 2 minutes, and the entire process was captured on camera. A night train, a journey home, a moment of surprise, it all ended. In the brief moments after the incident, the atmosphere in the train car became heavy and chaotic. The passengers initially did not fully understand what had happened, but the familiar silence was replaced by screams, panicked looks, and a few seconds of stunned silence. Some people immediately stood up, backing away from where Iryna was sitting. Others looked around, unsure of what to do. A male passenger was the first to rush over, trying to reach out and screaming for help. In the confusion and horror, an emergency call was made. It was a 911 call, starting a rapid response from the local security and medical systems. The announcement came over the dispatch system. A passenger was seriously injured on a train moving through the city. Charlotte police and paramedics were immediately dispatched to the nearest point, where the train was stopped to respond to the incident. When the response team arrived, they quickly approached the victim's location. Iryna lay motionless in the train car, surrounded by marks that indicated her extremely serious condition. Medical staff immediately checked her vital signs, while police tried to cordon off the area, restore order, and take initial statements from passengers present. Despite immediate rescue efforts, all hope of recovery was lost. At the scene, medical personnel were forced to make an official statement. The victim had died. The news spread quickly in minutes, first within the train, then across the entire line, and then through internal emergency bulletins. Passengers were asked to leave the train, one by one, in a state of haunting silence. Many remained standing on the platform, staring inside, unable to believe what had just happened. An ordinary day, a familiar journey, and a final image engraved in the memories of those present that day like a truth that no one wants to face, but can never forget. Believe what had just happened. After responders completed first aid and secured the area, the scene was quickly turned over to specialists from the Charlotte Police Department's Crime Scene Search Unit. The space of the train carriage at that time was no longer a mere public vehicle, but became a place where every detail could carry within it a part of the truth needing to be heard, needing to be preserved. The crime scene investigation begins with a comprehensive assessment of the incident site. All information is systematically recorded: distances between relevant locations, suspicious movements, traces left on the floor and handrails. Surveillance images from the train's camera system are also backed up for later extraction and comparison. The police confirm that the entire incident was recorded with sufficient clarity to be used in legal documents. During the investigation, a knife, believed to be the only murder weapon, was recovered and seized at the scene. The evidence was carefully sealed and turned over to federal authorities, where it became a key part of the criminal prosecution. Every trace, every location, every extracted image is a piece in a chain of truths that is being revealed. In a night that everyone thought was normal, that train car became the place to keep the last evidence of an incident that no one could stop. After the incident, video from a surveillance camera inside the train car showed suspect DeCarlos Brown Jr., 34, standing up and leaving his position. In the chaos that had not yet subsided, Brown quietly moved to the back of the car. 2 minutes later, when the train stopped at a station, he got off. Charlotte police approached and subdued Brown on the spot. The arrest was quick, and no further confrontations occurred. According to Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department records, Brown had a history of mental health issues and previous arrests. He had served time in North Carolina State Prison and had at least one conviction for assault with a deadly weapon. Brown had been taken for a mental health evaluation in the months before the shooting after becoming unsettled in public, but it was unclear whether he had continued treatment. Brown was charged with first-degree murder under state law shortly after the incident. The Mecklenburg County District Attorney's Office said the evidence was sufficient to establish that the act was intentional, not a spontaneous reaction. Additionally, because the incident occurred on public transportation, federal authorities stepped in. The U.S. Department of Justice formally charged Brown with causing death on public transportation, a serious charge under federal law. According to prosecutors, evidence including video footage of the entire incident, witness statements, and a knife seized at the scene have been entered into the case file. Initial investigation information does not indicate any prior contact between the suspect and the victim. The act occurred suddenly, with no verbal exchanges or conflicts recorded. However, statements made by the suspect immediately after the incident, specifically the phrase, "I got that white girl," have been recorded in the investigation file and are being reviewed as part of the motive analysis. Because the suspect's mental condition is a key factor, the court has ordered a competency evaluation to determine whether Brown is capable of understanding the charges and participating in the proceedings. That process is ongoing, and the results have not been released. No final trial has been scheduled. Brown remains in custody, awaiting the next steps in the legal process. The case is being heard at both the state and federal levels, and has attracted intense public attention not only because of the unexpected nature of the crime, but also because of the sensitive social context surrounding the victim, a Ukrainian refugee. What happened on that evening train ride lasted only a few minutes, but the legal consequences will linger for months, even years. While authorities continue to complete their case, questions about motive, criminal responsibility, and the extent of punishment remain to be answered, not just by legal terms, but by listening, analysis, and true justice. News of Iryna's death quickly spread beyond Charlotte's borders, reaching the Ukrainian community and people seeking justice. Her family, a young victim who fled the war in search of a better life, have spoken out publicly about their grief and called for reform of public safety. They have spoken out not only to remember Iryna, but also to question the responsibility of transport authorities, to protect passengers, and to provide security on the metro when danger lurks. In statements circulated through the press, they said that Iryna had chosen America as her new home, where she hoped to find peace. As a result, the family refused to repatriate her body, a heartbreaking choice, made because they wanted to keep Iryna's final farewell to her adopted homeland sacred. They wanted the place she chose to call home to be treated as respectfully as the motherland itself, not just in the mind, but in the way society and laws protect people. Charlotte's Ukrainian community, people who were close to her, people who came to know her through work, English lessons, friends, held small vigils. They gathered to light candles and lay flowers at the train station where the murder took place. Young people carried small flags, and the words "Justice for Iryna" appeared on social media, along with the call. No one should be afraid to go to work or school just because they use public transportation. The broader public began to question the subways, their safety, their treatment of the mentally ill, the responsibilities of security services, and whether security contracts actually worked. CATS, Charlotte's light rail system, became the focus of whether there was enough manpower, enough oversight to prevent acts like Brown's, because this was not just an individual case but a wake-up call. Legally, to date, no formal sentencing hearing has been held. Brown faces 2 charges: state first-degree murder, federal manslaughter on public transportation. The legal proceedings are ongoing, including the mental health evaluation of the defendant and the preparation of the indictment. The public is watching closely. The press is reporting every development, and every statement in the courtroom could influence how this case is remembered, not just as a personal loss, but as a message from society demanding protection for the innocent when they use public services. For Iryna's family, there are no words to describe the loss they have suffered. A daughter, a sister, a friend gone forever, without a chance to say goodbye. She did not die on the front lines, nor in a land of unrest, but left the world in the heart of America, a place she had believed would be safe. The case raises troubling questions about the public safety system. How could someone with a history of violence be allowed to board a train and approach innocent people without being detected? Where are early warnings, mental health support, and timely intervention in this chain? Or have we become so accustomed to indifference that we only act after it is too late? Iryna is not a statistic. She is a testament to the fragility of the concept of peace, something no one should have to pay with blood for. She left her homeland because of bombs and instability to find the simplest thing, a normal life. But that dream, unfortunately, was never fulfilled. And when we look back on this case, perhaps what haunts us is not just the loss of a young girl, but the question that remains unanswered. If someone had spoken up sooner, could this tragedy have been prevented?